Hello and welcome. Welcome back if you have been here since match one between Kevnastics and Glaucio Souza. And if you are just joining us, welcome. We have a awesome amount of Super Metroid fantastical content coming your way in the form of the multi-category extension tournament where we race all kinds of crazy categories. I'm joined here in the comms booth. My friend just walked in, Bison. Bison, how are you, sir?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing very well. Looking forward to this match. This
Absolutely.
should,
Go
this should
for it.
be a good one. This should be a good one. I was very surprised by. So it was Glaucio's pick. It was Kev's veto first. So the remaining categories were 69%, 90% all bosses, and North Korea percent. And Kev banned 90% all bosses, which makes sense. It's the category where his PB lags behind Glaucios the most by like 3 or 4 minutes. And then, of the two remaining categories, Glaucio picked Kev's favorite category, North Korea percent, which
Yeah,
was a surprise. I was,
absolutely. This category of all five really, I think, has been in the lead for categories that it's been referenced as the upset special, the category that is probably the most volatile. It is front loaded with a bunch of difficulty. You've got some hell runs where you're going through heated areas of Norfair without the various suit taking constant damage. It's got suitless Meridia, where you're moving through the water-filled areas of Meridia without the gravity suit, so your physics are all messed up, and any real mistake, just one mistake, can cost you a death, a reset, any of that stuff. So this is going to be intense. These two runners, I think. Let me see what they have on the docket for their PBs in this category. Kevnastics at the start of this tournament had a 1:11:55, and Glaucio had a 1:13:41. So we're only talking about upwards of two minutes ish worth of difference, and that really is one reset or one death. So anything can happen here. Do you have any predictions of what we might be seeing here, Bison?
oh, I'm sure we're gonna see a great race, and as proof to that, their series times were one frame off. Kev got a 44.69 and Glaucio got a 44.68. That's as
It's
close as you can be, basically.
a bit of foreshadowing, perhaps. Yes, that's awesome, man. That's what you like to see. You love to see it. That's for sure. And Glassley was doing a little practice on the suitless Meridia and that grapple jump, kind of out of the escape for Meridia. I think before match one. So Glassley may have had this category kind of in the back pocket here. I'm not sure how familiar they are with Kevnastics comfortability, whatever that word is, with this category. But either way, I think both runners are excited to run this, which makes me even more excited to watch what they're going to bring to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And as they're going through this first part of Super Metroid, which is basically the same in all categories, we'll take a minute to explain what North Korea percent is.
Yes.
Um, there's only really one rule, so the boss order must be DPRK, which stands for Democratic People's Republic of North Korea.
Yeah, and the D and the P and the R and the K stand for the first letter of the boss names, and so that's Dragon, Fantoon, Ridley, and then Kraid. So that's, as Bison said, the only thing these runners have to adhere to. They can pick up whatever safeties they want to pick up, extra energy tanks. You're probably going to see right here the runners just going through this room and then going right back through it to go back where they came from. And you're like, wait, what are these guys doing? The reason they're doing that is because once you enter that room and activate the enemies, it allows these runners to go back down and get what is referred to as the taco tank. So it's an extra energy tank that's down here, and you can't get it normally unless you do a triple frame perfect trick, which is very difficult to do. But you're going to see these runners use this enemy to get a little damage boost off of, and snag this energy tank, and that's just a safety. They're going to be needing every ounce of energy they can throughout all of this run. Glacio, unfortunately, um, killed the enemy that they need to grab the energy tanks. They're going to have to reset this room.
Yeah, it can be a pain. It's a pretty widely used trick in Rando. But yeah, in Rando, these rooms awake immediately. Well, after you pick up Morph and Alpha missiles, but in the vanilla game, yeah, you need to open a gray door for these guys to appear, and then you can deboost. This missile is very nice, just like in Nintendo Power Percent they were just doing. I really love the comfort of an extra pack in the early game. Makes the GT easier.
Oh yeah,
Makes
definitely.
BT easier. Makes like getting the Brinstar Reserve much quicker. It's always a big pain for me to go up there in that room, try to
Yeah.
deboost.
Yeah, that's really the crown jewel for me in getting those beta missiles is that I don't have to do any extra things in that early supers room. I can just mock ball across the bridge and then go straight into that reserve room there. Definitely a nice item.
Oh, absolutely. So Kevnastics are off to an early lead, but this is a very volatile, very difficult category. Um, it's nice to have a lead, but it's by no means nothing decisive yet.
Yes, indeed. If you're unfamiliar with this category, we'll let you know when the heat, if you will, and pun probably intended, since the heat is going to start when they go into heated rooms. But we'll let you know when things start to get saucy here. Most of this uh, this beginning portion, is gonna kind of resemble any percent, other than that taco tank there. But we're gonna see things start to get crazy pretty quickly.
Yeah, they have a few routing options open to them straight away. You can choose not to pick up the tackle tank and do much harder hell runs. You can also do or not pick up the Brinstar Reserve. I probably expect them both to pick it up, even though they technically have enough to survive the hell runs with just the E tanks.
Yeah, that is definitely maybe if you want to get an edge, if you're just trying to go all out and you've practiced that and comfortable with that before. Yes, definitely technically possible. That will limit you to pretty much zero mistakes, I think, in order to get through those hell runs for the most part. But yeah, it could be something.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more, but when we get there. But energy is also not just a matter of surviving the hell runs. It's also a pretty big importance in terms of time. So if you come to into say Bubble Mountain, which is like a safe room in the middle of the hell runs, with 20 energy, you cannot go basically in any direction from that room until you farm up to at least 80, and that takes a very long time. It's almost as long as it takes to reset.
Yeah. Um, Kev, I think
It-
accidentally shooting 6 missiles into the door to get into this room. I'm not sure if Kev had 9 or 10 coming in, but there was an accident. If there was 10, there was an accidental missile, so they had to go up first and before they could come get this reserve tank, which is just an extra little trip across. See if they can get this little reverse mock ball here. We might have a mock ball high five. Oh, that
oh,
was close.
almost. That's a very, very tight mark ball. But Kev is well practiced at Hundo. This is the way you go in Hundo, so no
Yeah,
problem.
indeed.
Still
Yeah,
keeping his lead, but they're very closely matched. It's great to see.
yeah, absolutely. Maybe they picked
Another,
this. Go ahead.
yeah, go, yeah, I'm in the next room. They're probably going to pick up Spore Spawn Supers without actually fighting Spore Spawn. Last race, we did see them fighting Spore Spawn, which is a pretty painful fight. It would have been much easier had they been allowed to get some supers. But yeah, we see the runners picking up these supers, which help a lot.
Yes, yes. They're going to need at least 10 supers, so that's two super packs, in order to be able to perform a crystal flash. They also need 10 missiles and 10 power bombs, but they also need an 11th power bomb to lay to perform this crystal flash. And what that will allow the runners to do is refill their health in kind of some sticky situations where they're either losing health or they're fighting Dragon and are trying to get a technique that will allow you to beat Dragon and leave the room. So that's some fancy stuff, and we'll get into that when we get there.
Yeah, that is for me the hardest part. The hardest part of this run for sure. Getting out of Dragon's room alive.
Yeah, it really is like four or five things you have to do correctly, and if you all within a short amount of time, it's
Yeah,
not for the faint
I
of
think
heart.
very, very, very quickly and correctly, but humanly possible, which is why we do love this game.
Absolutely. Um, Also, for the moment, for any of the viewers, if you hear a little voice in the background, that's my son. His name is Ridley. So if you're wondering if I was a Super Metroid fan or not, I'll let you decide.
A very nice early game from Kevnastics. He was in the Nintendo Power um, in the Nintendo Power percent race. He was trailing a bit in the early game, but he's warmed up and he's actually in the lead this time. And the runners are going to pick up these power bombs early on.
Yeah, they're gonna grab
The,
these alpha power bombs and most likely going to snag the beta power bombs, which are right above here. These two power bomb packs are really easy to get. The third one, sometimes you see some route divergence on which one the runners get for the third one there. It's usually wow, look at look at that thing, dude.
they're in
Let's go,
sync.
dude.
Let's go. And yeah, in this category, I don't think there's any real way to get a minute time penalty. So it's a
Yeah, yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, you need 3 packs to Crystal Flash. Uh, yeah, to Crystal Flash to get out of Precious Room. These are very conveniently placed.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
the
they're waiting around. Yeah, sorry.
oh, sorry, I was gonna say in the Crystal Flash RTA category, they actually only pick up two power bomb packs and just have an enemy hanging around that they know are gonna drop a power bomb so that they can lay one, pick it up, and then go back to the spot that they laid the one. But I think doing that in this category would be pretty insanely RNG and just all around crazy. So I don't think we're gonna see that anytime soon.
That would be crazy. I'm not even sure that Dragon's goo drops power bombs. It might,
That's
very
that's a good
rarely.
yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure. I feel like I've seen them, but who knows?
So since the runners have a reserve tank, unfortunately, when you pick it up, it's empty. Unlike the E tanks, which when you pick up, refill your health. to maximum, which the runners will undoubtedly use this run. You have to fill the reserve at some point of the run to make it useful. So they both decide to farm in Hellway at the top of Red Tower.
Yeah, that's
That's
definitely
where the
Kev's spot to farm. I didn't see how much Glacio farmed in Hellway. I was gonna mention that's probably some of why the lead that Kev had kind of been short up there is because of the Hellway farm. But if Glacio was doing it too, I'm not sure how much they were really farming there. I wasn't paying attention.
yeah, maybe he farms these um, Meridia. Oh no, he doesn't. I think he farmed quite a bit.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah, we're
tend.
approaching Norfair.
Here we go. Speaking of when things are gonna heat up, you're gonna see these runners um, either go and try to snag Ice Beam, which I think is Kev's route, or just go straight to um, high jump boots, or they'll go to high jump boots first and then go back to ice, or they'll just skip ice altogether and get it on the way out. Um, Kev taking a save before snagging anything. We'll
Yeah,
probably
that
see
indicates he's
Glacio.
going for Ice Beam.
Yeah. Um, Glacio will probably take a save as well, but it might be coming out of this high jump here because this is where the hell runs start, and this is where the tense, the anxiety for the viewers and for comms are going to go up exponentially.
Yep. So Kev could have picked up that E tank, which is right beside the high jump boots, but he wants to keep it for after this hell run because the E tank refills his health, and he's going to need to be at full health before he takes on the next hell run to Bubble Mountain. That's why this hell run can be pretty difficult with two tanks in reserve. He should be fine, but he still decided to save, which is a very sensible thing to do in a race.
Yeah, I mean a save. You feel bad when you do it, but in a category like this and in a race setting, you're gonna feel really good when that save ends up giving you the lead.
Oh, I believe you feel bad when you have to reset to a save, but making a save is pretty standard in this category, so should be fine. So feeling fine for now. Yeah, and it's gonna look like Glaucio has a pretty sizable lead. But remember, he still has to pick up ice. You need ice to do Suitless Meridian. So Kev is going to get that time back later in the run.
Yeah. Glasso showing off Hell Run number 2 here.
Oh,
Oh, is not having a fun in the Rising Tide room. Is probably going to make it through, but with 14 health, is going to have to do a sizable amount of farming before they can go on to Hell Run number 3, which is the path to Speed Booster. So this is actually going to shore up some of this lead difference, and I put that in quotes as Bison was talking about. We just have a bunch of different routes going on, but depends on how long it'll take Glaucio to farm up to at least 65 health at a minimum, and that's just off the top
he's,
of my head.
he's going for it with 60. He got
With
pretty lucky. He got
59,
two big health drops from the waivers, which is
this is
oh
gonna have to be
shit. No,
perfect.
no,
It's not perfect. Yikes. Oh, there we go.
that
We
was
have
a risk.
North
He
Korea.
does have a save.
Yeah.
He has a save right above mountain. Yeah, this room you really need the health, but there are no good farms. There are a couple of
Oh,
Sovas at the bottom of the room. There's a Cack Attack, which drops mainly. Oh, Kevnastics died.
yep. Rising Tide
Oh boy.
struck a little bit harder on Kev's side, unfortunately. So, yeah, we just have kind of a reset for saves here. The unfortunate part is that Kev has to go snag ice again. Um, instead of just kind of heading in here. But we'll see once these runners get out of Norfair, how much time is actually between them.
Oh, it's good. He's saved after ice, so
Oh, very good.
he's
Well,
good.
there you go.
And Glasso performed a very good Bat Cave. It's the room he's farming in. It can be very difficult to get up there in time before you die, and you need at least some luck from the Zebs over there to get health on your first volley. Unfortunately, Kev got hit by the Holtz, which is oh, he's through. Very nice.
Yep.
With that hit, getting through without triggering your reserves is actually very impressive.
Speaking of triggering your reserves, that waiver was being a bit of a troll there.
You know, it does happen quite often in these nail biting categories that you get through the very, very hard part and then you die uh, to a seemingly not dangerous enemy
Yeah,
just because
it's
there's.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, no, no, go ahead.
I was just gonna I was just gonna back you up. It's the it's because it's of all of the things you need to worry about in this category, the smaller ones are just not at the tip of your mind. So you're like, oh yeah, I'll just go through here and do this thing. Oh,
Ooh,
mm,
yep. And another death bat cave for Cav, unfortunately.
all right. So at this point, what's really difficult, and I'm sure some of you know how difficult it can be to take this many deaths. Obviously, these runners know that this category can be this way, right? But subconsciously, sometimes it takes a little bit of a toll. So just being able to shake it off and and just continue on is I think definitely going to be key in making it through with your head on straight and into Suitless Meridia.
Yeah, very nice from Kev there. He turned off the ice beam, which gets the Zebs or Zebos killed a bit quicker. He made it very nicely through. And Glassio is actually going through what I think is the hardest of these runs. He looks be in very, very good shape. Very nice, very nicely played from Glassio.
Yeah, I think it concurred as far as calling that one of the hardest hell runs because Glacio just to be sure shot a myriad of missiles through to those two enemies. There was not taking a chance that one missile is going to miss because if you miss and take a hit from either one of those enemies at that health, it's pretty much over for you.
Yeah, also a nice thing they do, we'll certainly see Kev do it, is they manually trigger their reserves. And the trick is that when the reserves check automatically, and they will, just like in Kev's case when he got hit by the waiver in Bob Mountain, you actually take damage from heat during the time reserves refill. And in order to lose less health, they just do it manually through a pause menu.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely something that's not readily apparent and unless you know about it. So yeah, even taking that time it takes to pause is really is really crucial to save. What is it like an extra 30 energy or something? I'm not sure what the number is, but yeah, it's kind of a cheap move by the reserve tank's automatic part.
Well, they still save lives. So
Yes, indeed. I forgot to
yeah,
mention it by the way, but GG's on Glaucio's swaggy speed skates coming out of Speed Booster there. Every now and then you get this little like frozen speed echoes frame from Samus, and it looks like they're just skating around on the ice. Very nice.
Yeah, backing up with a very nice, but not very necessary short charge. And Croc's room. So Keva's going through this wave how run. He's got very good energy coming in to wave beam. Hopefully he gets
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, this jump you have to really do right at the tip of the ledge, or else you're gonna hit those spikes. And Kev didn't get the jump, but fortunately hit the enemy instead of the spikes, which is less damage. So not as dangerous, and they make it out with 29 energy.
Yeah, very nice,
Well
and
done.
didn't even need his reserves. So obviously, as you can see, that since he did not use his reserve tank, he could have theoretically survived this with one less E tank. He technically did not absolutely need the E tank they got at the beginning of the game going back down, but that would have made these areas so much harder, and the resets would have been double for sure, especially in a race.
Yeah, I just unless you are super duper confident or just going YOLO, it's really just peace of mind and to let your mind relax a little bit as you go through this and racing somebody else. Just is invaluable in my opinion to have that extra reserve.
Absolutely, and I love taking this refill here. I oftentimes take it even if I feel I don't really need it. It's after these um, pretty tricky hell runs. It's so nice to just feel yourself at full HP.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure if this is popular opinion or not, but I actually grabbed the Croc E tank on the way out of Croc so that during this hell run I know I'm at full energy. I don't have to farm at that section there, and I get ice on the way out as well. So I'm looking for as much energy as I can through all that stuff. But that's just again another different route you can take in all of this craziness through this first two portions of the run.
Yeah, as you should. I mean, the safeties here cannot be overrated. So Glacio is now going to pick up the ice beam. Um, he has opened the green door there, just entering this area, which allows him to not use his super now because he's going to need all of them for Meridian. A very nice spark towards Croc Peeps from Kevnastics.
Yep,
It can be
very well done.
can be quite tricky to shoot and hold off the spark for the time required for the door to open.
And you have to thread the needle between the little stepping stone barrier and the top of the door. It's not the widest gap, and a lot of the times you end up hitting either one of them and missing the spark across.
Yeah, especially the way he did it. He sparked from quite a ways out. Many runners choose to do a speedy jump
Hmm.
towards the door and spark from there. He
Wow,
did it swaggy way.
Glacio getting the ice escape mock ball with only one frozen. Um, I don't even know what those enemies are called. Usually you freeze two of them so you can get enough running space to gain enough speed to kind of mock ball under the gate as you're escaping ice. But just very well done. Um, and here we go into Suitless Meridia for Glaucio Souza. This is where the ballet begins.
Ooh. So what he wanted to do is, as he's coming up, freeze that fish and land onto it. Now he's gonna have to wait for the crab, shoot the super into the wall, which is going to get the crab to drop, and then freeze it, and then jump on it pretty quickly.
A
That's
nice
very
nice
nicely done.
backup. Nice backup. Unfortunately, also running into the fish. These fish and most everything else in Meridia hits really, really hard, especially with no Varia suit and no gravity suit. So if you take hits with anything in here, I mean, you're talking about sometimes the danger of being one shot. So Glacio does have the reserve tank there, so not as scary, but still going to be keeping an eye on their energy.
Yeah, the game expects you to have gravity suit, which quarters all of the damage, and probably four or five more E-tanks at this point. So most of these enemies do at least a tank of damage to the suit these runners have, and of course they cannot pick up the gravity or the various suit because those are tucked away behind bosses, which they, uh, by the rules of this category, have to kill at the very end.
Yeah, Glacio picking up the third and probably final super missile pack that will give them just a little bit of cushion, allow them to use a couple of those supers, maybe on Bot Wound or Dragon, depending on what their strategies are going through this room. But just having 15 supers instead of the required 10 that you need for a Crystal Flash are is just feels a little bit better. And unfortunately, Kev not getting the quick entry into Meridia as well, so they're going to have to do a little backup strat here, just like Glaucio Souza did.
Yeah, plus when you have three packs of supers, when you have the minimum two, you have to be sure that you're full, absolutely full on supers. Otherwise, the crystal flash won't work at all. But when you have an extra pack, it gives you, some leeway. Anything over 10 works.
Yeah, it's also going to provide because if you have exactly 10 going into Dragon, you still need to do something about those turrets because you're going to need to go down underneath under 50 health in order to crystal flash. And if you take one shot from the turrets, then you're done. And so you're going to have to rely completely on missiles if you only have 10 supers, and you may not be full on missiles either, or you have to be conscious of that. So it's just, in my opinion, just snag an extra pack of supers.
No, absolutely. And someone pointing out in chat that the helmets are all gray. Kev is leading the series 1-0. It's just the race was right before this, hasn't been updated.
Yeah, and speaking of, there is still a lot of race to go, but just as a formality, if Kev can take this, that will be the best two of three, and Kevnastics will move on to face Nevdi in round two of the losers bracket, and that is a formidable match right there as well. So we'll see. Like I said, a lot of match to be played, and Glaucio is showing some awesome movement so far.
Yeah, also showing off what we call a grapple jump. Um, it is probably like a little glitch underwater where after you grapple, if you keep upward momentum, you can continue morphing and jumping, which allows them to travel through this room we call the aqueduct and also get out of Dragon. But they are pretty tricky, and you have to be very quick with your inputs, especially in Dragon's room where you have much less space to work with.
Yeah, the tricky part about the Dragon escape is that in order for the grapple jump to work, you have to be traveling upwards, and you only have this little bonk off of the side of a ledge to work with. So you're traveling upwards. Time is maybe less than a second, so you have to be really quick with your inputs.
Also showing off some what we call corner strats for the mini boss bot wound. It makes a lot of sense in this category because without the suits, he deals 120 damage. And in that little corner there, I believe on the right one also, he can almost never hit you unless he fires his particles.
Yeah, the one particle that you actually have to dodge out of the way of is when Botwoon shows his ugly face in the top left little hole there. Then you actually actively, without just being able to morph out of the way, have to jump forward about a tile and morph. It's something you have to be really quick on your toes in order to not get hit by.
Yeah, and Kev is going to do a nice clip right now into to progress. So if he freezes the Moctroid right like on him, he can actually jump onto it, and then when he stands up, the game puts him just barely over that um, combo block.
Yeah, it's definitely a nice little way, nice little trick to have in this category, so that you can do this category, because otherwise you'd have to have speed booster, but you wouldn't be able to get speed echoes without storing a crystal flash or something like that. So um, or doing a crystal flash clip, but that's a whole bunch of stuff. I would like to just take note, if you don't know of the danger of the room that Glaucia Souza is in. This is called Colosseum. The sand in Colosseum is not forgiving at all. If you fall accidentally and when you hit the sand, you decide to turn around because it's your instinct. You missed where you wanted to go. Let me turn around and try again. But if you turn around at the moment that you're in the top of the sand, it will drop you straight to the bottom, and there are spikes at the bottom of that sand. And because you do not have gravity suit, oh, just like Lausio almost did there, it's really, really difficult to get out of the sand. Oh,
Oh, he can't go
oh,
through the sand.
okay.
That's
I feel a little commentator's cursy here. So I apologize to Glacio personally. But yeah, that is the dangers of Coliseum. Not to be taken
thankfully he
lightly.
does. Thankfully he does have a save. Yeah. So if you haven't played this game, these sands were designed to be challenging when you have a gravity suit, and the gravity suit allows you to move underwater as if you're on land. So with very restricted movement as they have right now, um, yeah, they can be like, instantly deadly. There are ways to get out of the sand, but the issue is that there are spikes, hidden spikes beneath that sand, and again, without the gravity suit, they'll just kill you almost instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, like if you had all the time in the world, yeah, you could get out of there if you know what to do. But it's just you don't get any time to move because you're just constantly taking hits. It's just dirty. It's nasty.
Oh, very nice. Kevnastics gets through the room. He's gonna take a save before Dragon.
I do not blame Kevnastics. I would be surprised if either of these runners did not take this save. So Kevnastics is coming up on the next. The difficult portions of this run are not over, people. We now have Dragon to fight, and in order to defeat Dragon and be able to get out of Dragon, Gymnastics is going to have to be wary of their health. They're going to have to do a myriad of things in order to set all of this up correctly. You'll see that Gymnastics is taking damage. They're dropping their health below 50 so that they can perform this crystal flash that we've been talking about. You need the 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, or 10 power bombs, and then you have to lay a power bomb in order to do it. But the tricky part is that Kevnasis is going to have to initiate the crystal flash and then get gooped by Dragon. See those little goops? And he has to take a goop so that Dragon catches him. Now he has to wiggle out, and now he has a flash suit or a spike suit. Um, and so he's going to have to take this spike suit and get gooped again, and then initiate the spark, and then get the quick grapple, just like he did right there. Very, very well done. That is not easy to do all of those things in one shot. Um, now
That's
all
just
that
beautiful execution. That is very difficult.
it really, really is. It is a ballet of its own. Now Kevnastics has to pull off the other thing that Bison and I were talking about is this grapple jump escape out of Dragon, where they have to kind of uh, get the grapple. They can only take so much health damage. They don't have anywhere to farm to get extra health, so this has to be done on the first or second, or maybe third try. Um, and you're going to see Kevnastics try to pull it off right here. He has to bonk, get enough upward momentum, and then pull off that grapple jump like they are doing right now. First try, making it look like it ain't no thing. GG Kevnastics.
Very beautiful. That is a fantastic fight, and he got good RNG as well. I think she
Yes.
gooped pretty much straight away.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
well
so
done.
Dragon can just fly around the room and in another pattern where she does not grab you, and you just have to wait at that point. And Glacio is now taking his second attempt at Colosseum.
Yep.
You see there, he did land on the sand, but as long as you don't turn around and you're unmorphed and jump straight away, you can you can jump out pretty easily. But if you happen to turn around or don't press jump at the correct time, ooh,
Oh, that was.
you will get stuck in that sand, and there's no good way to get out.
All right. We have Glacio past the dangers of most of the dangers of Coliseum. Very well done.
Yeah, and for the way back, you get space jump, which is
Yes.
behind Dragon, and you just space jump over the top.
So we're going to see Glacio try to perform all of those things that Kevnastics made look easy. Hopefully, it will be the same ride for Glacio as it is for Kevnastics.
Yeah, if he's watching the restream or watching Kev, this is a very tough moment because a slew of very precise tricks are coming up, and you know that your opponent got them first try. It's puts additional pressure.
MB, yep. But these runners are, the both of them are here for a reason, showing off these things. Both runners of excellent caliber, able to deal with those nerves most of the time. They can get to anybody, but I have faith in both of these runners to make it through. Gets the crystal flash, gets a goop, and gets the grab. That's a nice first start for Glacio. Gets a little wiggle out. Hopefully, Dragon will play nice and only swoop once or twice.
Yeah, so as Dragon is swooping, we call it, just flying through the room, she is in no mood to grab onto Samus, which you need for this strat. Oh, and he misses it.
Okay, so
Uh,
it's not over. Oh, he's trying to get. Oh, okay, he's trying to get the quick grapple by staying in. Dragon's already slapped him twice. If he gets one more slap, I don't know if Glacio is going to be able to make it out of this unless they get an insane number of supers right now, so that they can crystal flash again on these Dragon drops. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to make it out of here unless they get just a first try perfect grapple jump, because what they're going to have to do is not only get the grapple jump. We didn't talk about all this because Kev just was able to just kind of get through here, but even after the grapple jump, you need to have enough energy to spark through Precious Room. you need to have at least like 50 energy, and even then, you have to make sure that you do a spark at the apex of a jump without initiating the spark at the very bottom. So we're gonna see what Glacio does here. Hopefully, ooh, does not get
Oh,
it on the first try. Does have a reserve. It's gonna pop that reserve and see what we can do about a second try. But if it doesn't get it on the second try, this is unfortunately a reset. Mm, yep, and that's another reason why this fight is so crazy.
no. Yeah, you have the boss down, but like the biggest obstacle is still in front of you, really.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
but Glacio, GG's to them, hitting that button as fast as they can, get right back into the fight and try it again. So I admire the persistence of Glacio's user right here.
Yeah, you can see Kev still taking these rooms very, very carefully because all these enemies hit like a truck.
Yeah, their power suit is still the only thing that they have. So not taking any chances.
Yeah, Kev has entered Vec ship coming up onto Fantoon, but he has four tanks and plasma beam. He should be all right. This still can be a pretty tough fight if you get here with low health.
Yeah, Fantoon can can decide to troll you whenever they want to. Um, for whatever reason. I mean, you can even hit missiles into Fantoon's eye and nothing happens for whatever reason. All right, Glaucio, round two. Let's go.
He does have a pretty good reason you came to kill him.
So, what I was going to mention um, while we watch Kev take on Fantoon here, if you get um, grabbed, if you initiate this spark and get grabbed by Dragon, like Glaucio did last time, um, you can wiggle out and still be able to do a quick grapple kill. There's a couple ways to do it. The easiest that I've found is by jumping and morphing before you get gooped and let Dragon grab you that way. And then you should be able to do the quick grapple kill. But I don't know how widely known it is. And sometimes some runners may feel that if they didn't get everything, perfect the first try, that they'll just have to, you know, do the backup that you saw Glacio do. Ooh, that was so
Ooh,
close.
that was very close, and he's very, very low on health, and
Yeah, and
probably
Dragon's
probably gonna die.
Dragon with three swats in like 3 seconds. That was horrible RNG.
Yeah, that
Uh,
that is RNG based. She might not slap you. She might slap you three times almost immediately, just like she did. That is
yeah,
entirely RNG.
yeah. I've seen Dragon not slap the entire way up to the top turret grapple kill before. So apparently Dragon has it out for Glaucia today for some reason.
Okay, his third attempt. Meanwhile, Kevnastics has defeated Fantoon and is on his way to get the gravity suit. And after that, the uh, stress levels this run really go down.
Yeah, after you get, the ability to go um, snag a gravity suit. Yeah, you put on the armor and you really feel it personally as well. You're like, okay, this feels much better.
So Galacio got the crystal flash into Drago's hands, and now he's gonna move left and right because the goo sort of has a timer. So if he first sees the goo on the left side of the room, uh, by the time he gets gooed in a position he wants, the timer would have had run out, and she just won't grab him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why he's
And he keeps getting goops. Okay, there we go. There it is. Very nice. Okay. All right.
oh
So
very
phase two over. Energy is looking pretty good so far, especially since we're about to pick up a bunch of, excuse me, a bunch of drops. Um, hopefully there's a lot of health in here. Hopefully there's at least one super. There is no.
oh
Come on, man. I just needed one super, and then he could have crystal flashed again. Oh boy. All right. It's not the end of the world. We've got 294 and a full reserve tank, I believe. Or it might not be full. It's probably not full actually, but still, we've got a couple of grapple jumps? What's a grapple jump? Grapple jumps attempts here.
yes,
All
very
right.
nice. There you go.
First try, and the energy looks fine. Should be able to spark out of here, no problem, as long as they stand in the right place. Did a little jump up just to be sure, but GG's. Third time's the charm for Glacio Souza. Well done.
Very well played. This is very very difficult. It is fascinating that um, runners over the years have found all these tricks to be possible. Um, just I believe just like 4 or 5 years ago, this was a glitched category, and people would X-ray claim.
But yeah, yeah. I would really love to be a fly on a wall for Deer Force, the creators of this game, watching what speedrunners are able to do and what kind of categories are run. That would be a treat for sure.
So yeah, that was 40 to 50 minutes in. That was the first boss, um, first major boss down. Whereas usually people have him down in an any percent run in about what, 10 to 12 minutes.
Yep.
It did take
Glad.
quite a bit of preparation.
Yeah. Bacon. Love your name, by the way. Korean percent. The actual name of the category is North Korea percent, and it's just referring to the boss order in which these runners um, have to adhere to in order to finish the category correctly. So we have the D for Dragon, which is what both of these runners just finished taking out. The P for Fantoon, which Kevnastics has already done. The uh, the R for Ridley, which they're on the way to, and then finally the K for Kraid at the very end here, which stands for the Democratic People's Republic of North Korea. So it is dubbed North Korea percent. I hope you are enjoying what you're seeing here and all the crazy things these runners have to do. Welcome. Um, let's see what else we got. We've got some lower Norfair music. That's definitely my favorite of the game because you whether you played this game before or not, you know you've just stepped into something big and bad, and you have to watch your step.
Absolutely. Thankfully, in this category, they have due to the amount of items they needed at the very minimum to get through Dragon without the suits. This is pretty comfortable for these runners. They have lots of E-tanks, lots of ammo, full beam combo,
Oh yeah,
everything except screw attack, really.
yeah. They could go get screw attack. It's definitely it could be a safety item for some runners depending on the route. It's it requires a green gate glitch for optimal movement and a couple of door transitions and stuff like that. So most of the time, not really worth it for runners to go snag a screw attack, but you could if you wanted to.
Yeah, absolutely. Remember one of the other categories, 69%. When I tried running it, I actually fought GT and got screw attack
There you go.
just because I loved the run so much with it.
Yeah, there's nothing that really feels more powerful, I think, than just spin jumping through every enemy you see.
Yeah, killing it. All
And
right,
that's
Glacio is out of Meridia. He still has to be a little bit careful. His health is not too high. These are still Meridian enemies. They still do over 100 damage. I'm pretty sure his reserves are full though. He managed to not pop them in getting out of Dragon. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure before one of his saves, he manually popped them and they were full.
Okay. Speaking of saves, Glaucio did not save coming out of Dragon. Um, so I'm thinking at this point, we may see Glaucio knows if they're watching the restream that they're behind and is just deciding, well, at this point, I have to do everything that I can do. Any stops that I can pull, I'm going to pull them out. And, I concur with that. I think at this point, that's exactly what I would be doing too. Anything I can save, anything I can do to try to shore up any amount of time. All or nothing kind of a mentality.
Yep. Remember his you can again the worst thing that can happen to you getting out is dropping a space jump in Colosseum and having to do all the sand stuff again. But now he just has to get through Fantoon, which is no easy feat with just 174 energy, even with the reserves. Fantoon, everything in that room still hits you for 40.
Yep. Yeah, I wouldn't go in feeling like Rambo with 174, but not super terrible as long as you can pick up some drops from the flames and stuff. Get a couple of 20 healths.
Yeah, Kevnastics making a race play there, farming one of the metal pirates on the way out,
Mhm.
just as a safety measure. I'm pretty sure he's watching Glaucio. He knows he has a lead, and he's preserving his safety.
Yep, sounds like a smart play to me. I often wonder, watching the restream or not watching the restream is kind of a double-edged sword. It can really, be your friend or it can be your foe depending on what's going on. I assume that one of the things that I was thinking of. I mean, we have still the Mother Brain fight. I mean, this run is not over, and it's not over until the Fat Lady sings inside of Samus's spaceship that's leaving the planet Zeebs here. And so I'm gonna guess we're gonna get a save from Kevnastics right before Mother Brain at Torian. This seems like the smart thing to do at this point, especially if they're watching the restream.
Yeah, I have similar mixed feelings about the V-Stream. If it's a category you can push, um, if it's a category where it's hard to push harder, like any percent, for example, you just basically run your game, and it doesn't really matter if you watch it, and it doesn't affect you that much because you're just doing what you're used to. But in a category like this, if you see your opponent has just executed like one of those Dragon tricks, uh, for me personally, it really puts on the pressure. So I kind of go back and forth. Between watching it and not watching it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, personally for me, I don't like getting into my own head, and sometimes watching the restream can do that. So I don't. I have it on, but not visible. And when I just play my game up until the point where I know that I feel comfortable, and then I'll probably check in here and there. But that's just me.
And now Kev going into the final boss, which is intended to be the first boss you beat. But here, as in RBO, which literally stands for Reverse Boss Order, we take on Kraid last.
Yeah, it's tended to be the first boss if you don't want to have any fun in this game, right? Let's have some fun and leave that for last. Nice little speed jump by Kevnastics there through the mini crate room and onto smack the Ghidorah in the face. That little combo there is sometimes hard to get. It's a small
Yeah,
little
it's
window
very
to
hard.
jump.
He got so much speed that the super he shot went through the door.
Hey, we've got some Kraid DLC here. I didn't know Kev bought this DLC, but I think he probably just picked it up for the race.
Yeah, his beam does 900 damage, and Kraid only has 1,000, so it was a pretty quick dance.
Various suit. We'll pick you up because the Mother Brain's rainbow beam looks for you when you get shot there. So we do need you, but at this point it seems like kind of a moot item to have.
Yeah, almost. Yeah, it's pretty interesting how the game takes into account, if you have gravity, takes into account the various suit and like a couple of spots in Turian.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Almost as if Deer Force knew you might get over to Torian without Variasuit.
Or gravity suit.
Yeah. So, question in chat: what happens if you don't have Varia? So nothing bad happens if you have enough energy to tank a hit from Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam. But without Varia, the amount of damage that is done to Samus for the Rainbow Beam is doubled. And so unless you have accounted for that and have enough energy to tank that hit, you'll just die. With 5 tanks, you'll even if they're full, you'll just die. They do have one reserve tank, um, but I don't even think that's enough. You have to have at least 7, whether you have reserve tanks or energy tanks. You have to have at least 7 in order to survive a rainbow beam hit without Varia.
Yeah, the Rainbow Beam is an unavoidable attack between phases of the final boss.
Yes, well, we will see that shortly as Kevnastics makes their way to the last portion of the game where the brain lies in wait for Samus's return, if you will.
We're also going into the lava dive room, so um, there's a somewhat similar category to this one. Um, it is called a major. It's one of the 4 major categories called reverse boss order, where you have to do all of these rooms without any of the suits. So you take constant heat damage. This is sometimes referred to as a grand hell run. Thankfully, we have picked up the gravity suit, and we are not taking damage here, so these rooms should be a breeze for him.
I'll say with
In
a
a
nice
very
little
nice short charge.
short charge. Ooh,
Oh,
just missed it,
oh, cursed
unfortunately.
him again.
We both did it. It was a double.
That looked very good, and with the
It looked fine to me. Yeah, it looked perfect.
with Kevnastics taking the elevator to the final area of the game, Turian.
The eeriest music that's not really music in the game. Glacio teasing us with some Mickey Mouse missiles there. I thought I was gonna go say what up to Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I mean, they can be quite a pain without screw attack.
Gymnastics Metroid room 1, not looking too bad. Room 2, a breeze. See how room 3 plays out. Can be a little bit tricky. Very
He's just
nice.
blasting supers at him. He has a few more missiles here than he would normally have in an 80% run. Feels yeah, he's good. 2513 is plenty of ammo.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I guarantee Glasso did not start the run 5 minutes and 7 seconds ago. Um, if they did, then we might have a new world record on our hands. But there's a little an hour marker just kind of on the edge of that timer that's not all the way in there. So it's about the same as Kevnastics timer.
Kevnas is
Kevnast
going for a baby skip.
looks like they've got
Very difficult trick.
Yep, they've got the jump rope going pretty well, and looks like yes. I bet you Kevnastics just audibly yelled out something in their house or in wherever they are, because I think that Baby Skip has eluded them in a couple races or runs here and there. So very well done, GG's Kevnastics.
2 for 2, and I take some credit. I take some credit for Kev's baby skip because we had a race which I won by 1 second, and it did look like the deciding factor was the baby skip, and he learned it pretty much immediately after that.
Did Kevnastics save? There was no save. Okay.
No, there's no save, but he's feeling. He's got um, a couple of tanks more than
Oh, yes,
he would have in an
comfortable,
80% run.
comfortable for sure.
Oh,
Oh
but
goodness.
Glausio is in danger in this Ridley fight. He has
Yes,
to be very careful.
please, Ridley, please. No, Ridley, no.
Oh,
One more hit from Ridley or the tail. It's not good. And Ridley, oh,
clutch. That was
let's go,
clutch.
let's go.
He was on
Uh,
one hit KO range.
we should, yeah. hmm He's just giving us a little suspense for the race. Appreciate that, Glacio.
Did not pick up the E-Tank. There's an E-Tank right after Ridley, which you can pick up to make this escape safer. Everything in this every area in the game deals 50 damage, even with both suits. And Kev gets through Mother Brain 2 safely.
Yeah, I mean, Glacio not going for the E tank. It's not necessarily, an odd decision there. I mean, the time it took to farm in that room was not too bad. He's up to 2 tanks, and when you compare that to the time it would take for 2 door transitions and a fanfare, it's much less. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Glacio's decision there.
Very beautiful speedball in the wasteland. It's a
Absolutely.
pretty tight mod ball.
Bringing out the swag.
He's using his plasma beam here to clip through enemies. So plasma beam grants iframes to the enemies when you hit them, and during that time you can just run through without taking damage, which is very useful.
Yeah, especially in Lower Norfair when you're not trying to deal with any key hunters, because they just do massive damage. regardless
Yeah,
of what
these
kind of
guys
speeds you have.
are pros at ending good runs.
For real, the Three Musketeers on Glaucio's screen are probably claim the most speedrunner KOs. Kevnastics showing Mother Brain what a hyper beam feels like in the dome. No doubt payback for the massacre that was just bestowed upon the baby Metroid. Rest in peace, baby Metroid. Thanks for the really cool beam.
And it also has his final boss, Kraid, which again is meant to be your very first boss, the very first boss you encounter. There's just that left. And Kev is onto the escape. He has a lot of movement items. This will be a breeze for him.
Yeah, being able to spark up the climb is really something that makes this escape feel very easy. Like that timer in the top right is not even an existing thing. Um, if you're not able to do that, you do get a little bit of attention, especially if this is a casual run through, your first playthrough. Oh my goodness, you feel like you don't have enough time at all trying to get up this escape. But here's that spark, nice and easy, up the right side. Heading up
Yeah, I
through
sometimes
Parlor.
wonder if anyone had thought of the spark on their first playthrough.
I'm sure somebody tried it. Leaving the animals to die, says Kevnastics. That I'm in a race. I don't have time for you right now. And we have Kevnastics finishing in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 3 seconds. GG's Kevnastics. Well done, sir. That was an incredible North Korea percent run.
Absolutely. That's I'm gonna have to check his PB.
I have
That's
speedrun up
very
right
close to his
here.
very close to his PB as Glaucio gets the great quick kill, not letting him stand up.
Very well done. And we have joining us in the comms booth the one and only Kevnastics. Kev, GG, how you feeling, buddy?
Like I'm utterly surprised. Just like seriously blown away. Like I didn't watch the restream. It's just I don't know what it is, man. I've been getting so nervous lately, and even though I'm probably better prepared for this tournament than any other one I've been in, this one has made me like the most nervous, and I have not performed well. So I didn't watch the restream, but I'm sitting there and like I died in a couple times in the hell runs, and I'm like, okay, I don't know how to play today. Like, how did this even happen? That's usually the easiest part of the run. I guess I was so stressed out about Coliseum and Dragon. I was tilted on the hell runs, but I mean, it worked out. But wow, I even took a lot of extra safeties and a lot of saves. And hey, my first 2 baby skips, I think, in a tournament race. So I'm pretty super amped about that.
I was talking about that. I said he's probably has just said something audibly, something out loud in his house when getting that baby skip. Because I know you were getting thwarted by it, even though you knew you could do it. It's just all of a sudden was not happening races for you. So I'm happy about that, man. I'm happy how this went. Yeah, this whole first portion was really back and forth for you guys. And you had some different routing through the hell runs and stuff like that. So it was a little bit difficult to determine who was ahead. And then there was definitely some mishaps and some resets.
Does Glaucio get late ice?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, I figured that would be at least one deviation.
Yeah.
I just personally have I have better luck with that hell run if I get early ice. If I get late ice, I end up having like just not enough energy and I end up doing extra farming. So like optimally early ice is significantly better for me even with the menuing. And that's why I died in the Batcave, because I forgot to turn ice off. And I'm like, all right. And then I missed the jump, and I'm like, you idiot. Why? You're just like, I'm just doing the dumbest, the dumbest stuff. Like, at least I didn't turn around in sandpit, which is what I did in my very first North Korea race against Prankard.
Yeah, well, that is one of the things that caused Glacio to have to reset. It took one of those little Kagos through the sand into the spikes. Yeah.
I actually got out of one of those yesterday. I was doing a practice run last night, and I actually got out of it for the first time. And I'm like, oh, geez, that was rough. So I did not come into this very confident. I don't know. I kind of want to talk about, like, I'm really surprised that I ended up racing Glacio in, like, the only two categories I think I have better PBs than they have. So Glacio vetoed max percent. I kind of had a feeling he was going to veto max percent. He had mentioned when we were chatting, like, scheduling the race, that he's just like, I don't really want to do that category. So I had a feeling that he was going to veto max percent. And anybody that knows me knows that I'm not playing any percent unless I have to. So I vetoed any percent all bosses, and because Glacio has like a 2 or 3 minute edge on me there. So I'm like, no way. So I figured with the remaining categories, Nintendo power percent was probably our biggest discrepancy. So I'm like, all right, if I play clean, I could do this. And then I get right outside of Dragon's Lair, and as soon as I shoot the door and I start my forward momentum, I'm like, oh no, my split says go get precious missiles. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm sitting here at a minute disadvantage. Okay, I lost this, which actually it probably helped me because I had no nerves for the entire rest of the run after that precious missile. Like, I was tilted for about a minute or two. And I'm like, all right, I got a second race to get ready for. So, as you can tell, I can't stop talking. I am utterly thrilled. So thank you, Bison. Thank you, Papa Schmo, for doing comms. I mean, tell me more. It was really exciting, I think, from what I hear.
Oh, it's an honor. With great races. The first race, it really did look like you guys were. Glacio was ahead, and then you were catching up to him in Meridia, and then you missed the missiles, and it did really look all over, and you managed to claw it back. Was fantastic performance. And your,
if I didn't get that baby, I was gonna say, if I didn't get that baby skip, I would have lost that match with the penalty.
Probably, yeah. We'll be within a few seconds. I'm. By the way, I took some credit for the baby skip after our GT Classic race. Am I right?
You can take all the credit, man. You were the reason that I grinded that move to learn it, because I got sick of losing races to baby skip. And what was our GT Classic race, like 6 seconds or something? It was close.
Speaking of
like
baby skip,
wow.
Wow. Oh man, that was the craziest baby skip I've ever seen. Glacio had to like split out. There was lag involved. There was like really high jumps going on. That was really, really well pulled together at the end.
Oh man,
they managed to keep it together. That was very close.
Oh geez, I'm just so happy. So yeah, thanks to Bison for helping me secure a win by making sure that I learned that baby skip. And so I'm really happy about that. Thank you so much, and definitely thanks because they're not here. I think it was it Glove and who else did the
MM2.
MM2 did the first match. So Glove and MM2, thank you so much for jumping in on comms last minute. That was really great. And Papa Schmo and Bison, I mean, it's really cool to have just, kind of buddies, people you've raced in other tournaments or hang out and, in Discord and stuff. It's good to have us all together. And I'm finally happy to get some wins on stream, as my tournament luck has not been very, very good. I'm new, whatever. I'm not new anymore, but I still we're talking like I've been racing less than a year, so I'm pretty happy.
I'm pretty happy to see it, man. And I'm sure you've already looked at this at some point or another, but this brings you facing up against Nebby in round 2.
Yeah,
which was my first opponent in the winners bracket there. So what do you think about that?
I think I'm going to be happy to get 2 more races and before I'm dismissed. So I think Nevdi has like a 10-minute edge on me in literally every category. So yeah, he's definitely got like a 10+ minute edge in North Korea. Max percent, maybe about 4 minutes, 5 minutes somewhere. And I can't compete with Nevdi, but I love Nevdi. Nevdi's cool, and it'll be really an honor to race Nevdi. I'm very excited about it. Not sure what I'm going to ban, you know. I mean, it just depends. I might ban and hope to do like the long categories, so I get just like extra long playing time. But that'll showcase just how much better Nevdi is at controlling Samus than I am. So
Well, I'll be glad to
come
watch
races
it.
anyway. Watch Nevdi. He rocks.
Right on. Yeah,
Make
speaking
sure
of
to
all the
follow.
yeah,
Make
go
sure to
go for
follow
it.
Kevnastics and Glacio.
And
Got
Bison.
great
Bison does a
entertaining
lot of
streams.
lots of awesome stuff going on at Bison's stream too. Don't forget about Bison.
And of course, Papa Schmo.
Thank you. I most appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. Follow Bison, Papa Schmo, follow Glacio. These are really great people that do a lot of different stuff in the Super Metroid gaming. You know, randos, vanilla categories, co-op, you name it. I'm gonna kind of stick around if you guys don't mind. I'd like to, if Glacio jumps in for the interview, I definitely want to say GG and thanks for the racing. I did not at all expect to beat Glacio. I thought maybe I could pull off one win. No way was I going to pull off two. So I guess it's to my advantage that Glacio banned max percent because it allowed me to race him in two categories that I'm just currently ranked a little bit higher than he is.
Yeah, Bison
I was
had
very
mentioned.
surprised. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just about to say what you were about to say. So I was just Bison had
Oh
had
yeah, I was
mentioned
really.
words talking.
Yeah, I was very, very, very surprised to see North Korea percent picked.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be
I
down to. I knew it was going to be down to 69 and North Korea based on our first race. I was really surprised at Glacio. He just went, let's go North Korea. I was 100% certain Glacio was going to pick 69%. I think there's about a minute and a half difference between both of our PBs, and it's not as volatile. I think, Glacio would have crushed me under that scenario. So even though I was more nervous for North Korea just because it's a very volatile category, I was very happy Glacio picked it because I felt like, all right, well, I have a chance. I got a shot.
Yeah, I wonder if Glacio would have picked any percent all bosses had you not vetoed it. I'd be curious to know.
That's a good question to ask. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it depends on if Glacio's been paying attention, And I know Glacio. I hang out in his streams sometimes. He hangs out in mine. So I just, I'm not scouting or anything. He's just, Glacio is kind of like a runner that I'm very interested in because he runs a huge variety of categories, same as a lot of us, not just your standard any percent hundo rando, but a lot of meme categories. So I'm not surprised to see Glacio in this tournament. And this puts Glacio, he's still got two more matches, right? Or does this take Glacio out?
That is correct. This is the the losers bracket.
Right.
Yeah. Speaking of, he has finished in second place with a time of 1:22.29. GG Glacio. Well done. We'll see if Glacio is going to want to come in for an interview. But GG to both runners. And yeah, this is losers bracket. So unfortunately, Glacio cannot take the first person kicked out of the tournament medal because I will have that. But
you know what? I don't feel bad because you kicked me out of the GT Classic tournament and a very, very bizarre turn of events.
That's fair. That was a
I'll
race.
be following you in a week though after I go against Nepti, so I'll see you. So are we gonna get Glacio in here? I hope so, but understandable.
I'm gonna ask him. Yeah, we'll see. And yeah, as far as other races that are coming up in the near future. Let's check which ones have been scheduled. We have tonight at 11 p.m. Bands with Legends versus Apathy Duck. Um, that's
Holy,
going, yeah, yeah, that's going to be a very exciting race to watch for sure. And on comms for that race, we have Bressingham, so that's just even a little cherry on top there. And then as far as what's scheduled, next Tuesday, we have a 9 p.m. and an 11 p.m. That's MM2 versus Susream. And match two for, I believe it's match two for Bands with Legends versus Apathy Duck. So I'm sure more races will be scheduled as time goes on, but we have at least those three awesome races coming up.
and I believe
Um,
that's race number 3 between Susream and MM2. So that's going
oh,
to be a killer. Yeah, because I mean, unless I'm mistaken, I think they both. So they both got a pair of 48s in the Nintendo Power Percent. So since Susream finished before MM2, that puts Susream ahead, and then MM2 edged out Susream in North Korea percent. I could be mistaken. I could be, but I think that's how it turned out. I do remember watching those matches. One of them on multi Twitch because I only think one was restreamed. But if you get a chance, check those races were incredible. I guess only if one of them wasn't restreamed, you wouldn't be able to watch it. But that should be exciting. Plus, like Bands, Legends, Apathy Duck. I mean, everybody outside of I think Guy Average and Nevdi are just like a little bit like a step above everybody else. Guy Average particularly, but there's a whole lot of people within like 30 seconds or a minute of their PBs across like 3 to 5 of these categories. So what a great tournament. A lot of close races, a lot of really exciting stuff. I'm just super, super happy to be a part of it.
absolutely. And yeah, Bressingham might have a little bit of a incentive to calm that match because whoever wins between Apathy Duck and Bands goes on to face Bressingham in round 4 of the winners bracket. Glacio unfortunately not able to make it in for an interview, but no worries. We wish Glacio the best of luck and say thank you for the show, and we will see you next time. And as far as Kevnastics goes, thank you for the show, good sir, and good luck in your race against Nebdi. I'm sure we will all be here, ready to watch, and in excitement for sure. Any last things you want to mention or comment on before we wrap this here thing up with a nice bow?
Yeah, Nevdi, whether you're listening or not, we need to get these matches scheduled ASAP because I have a vacation in the Outer Banks from the 19th to the 25th, and then I close on a house on the 26th or the 27th, and then I'm running right out of town and moving to New York after that. So I've got a busy couple weeks coming up. So if we get that scheduled in the next 5 days, that would be great. If not, life goes on, and we'll see if I have any time to race. But yeah, big stuff going on in my life, so I'm glad I could do all this, and I hope to see some of you either playing or commentating. And thanks to the Restream crew, Comms crew, everybody else. I mean, it's Kev. I'm going to talk. Thank you, and now I'm I'm good. Thanks.
Right on, Bison. What last words have you got?
Thank you guys. It was an awesome set of races and really happy to come. Make sure to follow the runners, follow Papa Schmo. You can follow me if you wish, and see you next mission.
Right on.